Hi, I'm Jo Hamer, the owner of the Curvatures Boutique. In our last video, we briefly looked at how reality is an illusion and how everything that was, is, and will be already exists. We looked at how we can match our energy to our desires. So to continue this, in this video, we will be looking more at the self and what we need to do to align ourselves with our desires. When we talk about the self, we may talk about who you are, your personality traits, who you identify as, and what is familiar to you. So this is your normal, the way you naturally vibrate. The self is made up of your memories and past decisions. It's what you know. But there is another aspect to yourself. There is what we call your higher self. You may have heard of this if you've ever learned about meditation, that people meditate to connect with their higher self. But who or what is this? Your higher self is your soul potential that's communicating with you at all times. Do you ever get those little feelings or nudges that you have to take certain action? That feeling of, I know I've got to do this. Well, that's your higher self pushing you in the direction you need to go in. The higher self already knows what needs to happen in order for your life to pan out how it should. So when you have a desire or a want and you connect or match your energy to that desire or want, this is you becoming one with your higher self. But there is one more layer to add to the self. So you have the present self, the one that you know and identify with. You have the higher self, the self that is connected to your soul. And you have the universal self. This is the self where the infinite possibilities live. If you remember back in the first video, I talked about the Big Bang and how once upon a time everything was connected, the energy was connected. This is the universal self being connected with that energy. Some may say this universal self is God. Some may say spirit, the universe, or even the creator within. Name it what's comfortable for you. So if we have the higher self and the universal self within us, we already have the knowledge and the power to manifest our dreams. The problem we have is the current self. The current self causes us to forget that we have this knowledge and power, which is why so many people in this world are not living their dream life. They forget how to use this power. So by learning about energy, oneness, the universe, thoughts and feelings, manifesting and so on, you can see that this is a way to get your knowledge and power back. Maybe this is why we exist, to live in a reality where our lesson is to gain our power. Who knows? I suppose an easy way to grasp how to change our reality is to look at it as a game of pretend. Like when we used to play as kids and we would jump into like different roles. Our imagination is vast, and if I asked you to close your eyes and imagine yourself on a tropical island with the sun warming your skin and the waves lapping over your feet, there is a strong possibility that you could achieve it. This is what we need to do with our reality. Remember, the subconscious mind cannot determine what is real or not. So your subconscious mind will think you are sitting on a tropical beach and that it is real. The same applies to your reality. You have to trick the subconscious mind to pretend that the life you want has already happened. You've got to bring your future to the here and now. By repeating this and changing the perspective, you'll potentially change the old emotions and paradigms. If you feel that energy inside, you feel the emotions it brings, you are at one with this desire. So let go of the old ways and embrace the new. So if we now know that we need to role play, to play a game, to trick the subconscious mind, this is where your fun begins. So you could play the game and pretend to have all the money in the world, window shop for designer bags and shoes, search for the dream home, create a scrapbook of how you're going to decorate your dream home, test drive the dream car, build it on the website, and so on. The only rule is you need to connect the emotions to these feelings and actions. Feel the excitement, experience the tears of happiness, and imagine that feeling you would have buying that handbag, those shoes, that home, that car. So get yourself a big journal and keep a diary of what you do so that you can reread this and relive it, because this will remove all the negative feelings, the limitations, and will embed that this is how life is. When you write it down, you're reliving it in your mind. You're putting those thoughts and feelings onto paper. The new you is being born, and therefore your manifesting can speed up. You may find your awareness begins to shift and you're being guided through those little nudges to decide the new things you may not have considered before, but go with it, because this will form the new branches of your tree of life. These nudges will be your way forward and they will always match your energy. The only thing you need to be mindful and careful of is whether the energy that you are emitting is of the energy that you want your future self to be. And the reason I say this is, remember the law of attraction, like attracts like. The universe will give you more energy of what you have. So if you're still focusing on what you don't have and are associating the thoughts and feelings to that energy, you will receive from lack. But if your energy, thoughts and feelings are from I already have it, then guess what? You will receive more of this. So think from I have instead of I want. Be guided, take the nudges, but remember to maintain the energy, thoughts and feelings of what you desire, not the thoughts and feelings in between, as you will end up with more of them. Open yourself to the inner guidance that comes through. There are a few things that you can do to get in the right frame of mind and the energy to start and end your day. So when you wake up and before any distractions like social media or checking your emails come into play, spend a little bit of time with yourself. When you wake up, say good morning to the world and state, I am ready to co-create my dream life today. If you take a shower in the morning, state at least 10 things that you're grateful for, but do this from the energy of your dream life. So for example, I'm so grateful for all the surplus money in my account today. I'm grateful for the dream home I live in. I'm grateful for the successful business or job I have. I'm grateful for the nutritious food in my cupboard. Thank you for the healthy body I have today, and so on. If you don't shower in the morning, you could do this over breakfast or on your journey to work, but just have a little bit of time with yourself. Visualize your dream life for where you are. Where do you live? What do you drive? What do you wear? Where do you work? Live it. Imagine it. Feel the emotions with it. All of these pointers will help you become one with your dream life. And when you go to bed of an evening, give thanks and gratitude for what happened in your day. Again, try and come up with at least 10 things to get that energy in the right place and visualize your dream life again, so it's the last thing that you're thinking of before you close your eyes. So some important things to be aware of. Any negative thoughts, feelings or doubt. Don't try to hide these, as these will just bubble and fester. Instead, invite these negative thoughts and feelings to come to you. This is important because it is a process of getting rid of this energy, as it could stop you from aligning with the energy you need for your dream life. Acknowledge the negativity and be aware of it so that you can then thank it for coming to the surface and release it. Ask for guidance with what you need to do for that day, and then look for those inner nudges. Sometimes you may find there is a niggling feeling that you need to let go of old ways, sometimes even people. This can be scary, but you must trust that this will be happening for the right reasons. Think of it another way. If you're not in a very happy place at the moment with the people around you, can you picture another 5 years in that environment, that atmosphere? If you can't, or you wouldn't want to live that life, you know really deep down that it's time to change, and it's time to put you first. And be aware of patterns, especially patterns that are not in alignment with your dream life. You may have a battle with logic, call yourself crazy, or even feel like a victim. And this is okay to feel all of this, but it's how you overcome it and break any patterns that make the difference. So what no longer serves you needs to be let go of. Your instincts will kick in and give you that awareness of what they are. You could even ask your higher self, what do you need to let go of? All of these patterns could be holding you back. Letting go of what no longer serves you could be a gradual process rather than an overnight fix. It may be people, locations, jobs, all of which takes time. But if you put your intent to make those changes, the universe will find the how. You don't worry about the how, you just focus on what you want. The universe will find that how. Emotions can be stirred up by all this upset and emotional pain, but starting this journey will lead you to a better place. When we talk about letting go, there are aspects of our unconscious mind that can affect this process or hold us back. These aspects are known as archetypes. So an archetype is our unconscious that can relate to our behaviour. Let me give you some examples, as you will need to know which archetype is affecting you. Every archetype has an opposite too, and it's these opposites that you need to try and tap into and awaken in order to overcome your limitations and blockages. The architect that will probably affect you the most is the logician archetype. This archetype will use the logic and the patterns of behaviour to influence your decisions in life. So for example, if you find yourself saying things like, oh, that's too risky, or I've not done that before, it could be dangerous, so let's just play it safe, or no one else has done it before, we don't know what will happen, so let's not do it. That's the logician. The logician will stop you from connecting to your higher self, and it bases everything on your past experience. So it will keep you where you are because it's familiar, and it will stop you stepping into the unknown. The logician will stop you from reaching your dream life, as they will see it as separate. It's almost like I'm here and my dream life is over there. It's out of reach. There's too many hurdles to overcome. Even though this archetype can be the most influential, it can also be the hardest one to notice. The logician may get you to think about your dream life, but it will keep telling your higher self that you're not ready. This is where you need to develop that awareness for how you think, feel, and then you can make decisions and so on. If you're aware that the logician is influencing you, then this is a way of you understanding that you are disconnecting from yourself. This is where we need to awaken the opposite to the logician. We need to awaken the magician, so the magician can take over and influence. The magician welcomes the dream life. It doesn't focus on logic or self-sabotage and allows your imagination to come to the foreground so that you can dream. The second archetype is what we call the prostitute archetype. Now, some people, like myself, may have difficulty with the name of this one, but please stay with me. This archetype breaks down to exchanging our values for a form of security. It's like we're looking for validation. We overgive and we people please. Does that sound familiar to any of you? I can tick the box on this one with me because I have always been a people pleaser. So an example could be that we just keep saying yes to what people are asking of us, even though we are already super busy. Could just make this call. Could you order these items? Can you just type these quotes up? Every time we say yes, we add it to our workload and probably give these tasks priority as well. In your head, you're screaming, "Oh my God, I'm so busy. No, I can't." But the words that come out of your mouth are, "Of course, that's no problem." All we want in return is the praise of the person who's asking us to do it. That we would want that validation, and like when they turn around and they go, "Oh, what would I do without you?" It makes you feel that special kind of, "Oh, I've done something really good." If you can identify where in your life this occurs, you can change it and you can ignite the opposite archetype. I love this one. It's called the Queen, the one who projects power, oozes confidence, is loved by all, valued, and radiates self-love. The Queen would say no, and that is that. The Queen does not need to people please, as she is well respected. The third archetype is one that many of us could relate to. It's called the wounded child archetype. This archetype wants to belong, wants to fit in with the circle of friends or even family. This archetype is usually created early in the childhood, so whatever happens typically before the age of 7 years, and it gives us a strong sense of identity. The wounded child will dramatise and catastrophise events. So think of it like the shadow in the corner of the bedroom, because as a child we would turn it into a monster rather than it just being a shadow. So we over-dramatise that. The opposite archetype to the wounded child is the golden child. This is the archetype we want to encourage, as this is the one that has the imagination, the creativity, the playfulness. Think of how this archetype could help with creating your dream life. The last archetype is one that again many of us can relate to, the inner victim archetype. The scars we bear from our past, the woeful me. Life just happens to me. Life is unfair, the powerlessness. I can't do this because. All this archetype wants is to be safe, be loved, and be validated. We want to raise the opposite, the love and light archetype, bringing the balance of masculine and feminine divinity, a higher level of truth. It's funny because I will often say When I want to step away from someone, I wish them love and light and send them on their way. So in some ways, I'm trying to raise that archetype. So from listening to what these archetypes are and what they represent, can you identify with any of them in your life? Were there any aha moments for you? For all these archetypes, we can only overcome them if we're aware of them. Your greatest power can be released from your vulnerabilities because you can overcome what is holding you back. When you can feel that there is a limiting influence happening in your life, you could ask yourself, how could I look at this in a healthier way? What would my higher self think? And ask for guidance. Now is the time to let go of the past. Now is the time to face the fears. Now is your time to unleash your power. I'm Jo Hamer, the owner of the Curvatures Boutique, and I hope this video has helped you see that some of the areas could be holding you back, and how archetypes can affect your life. Thank you for watching my video, and be sure to tune in for the next video when we'll be looking at fear and how to overcome it.